Good morning, YouTube. Today is April 30th, and Tommy just told me it's the last day of the month. How's everyone doing today?
Good, man. Good.
We're doing good, man. It definitely feels like the last day of the month for me.
It is Fed week. How's the baby, Tom? Give us an update. Did you break him yet?
I haven't dropped him once, but yeah, no, he's doing well. He definitely takes it out of you, though. I mean, he doesn't even do much, but it does take it out of you. All my friends, family, they were correct. So I thought they were all full of crap, but they were all correct. The feeding, the changing of the diapers, the repetitive motion.
Well, let's keep making Tommy's life difficult. Keep calling him for those pre-approvals and estimates. He'll do it while he's holding TJ. It doesn't matter. Word is he's #1 producer this month. So congrats, Tom. You're having a hell of a month.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I have done a few estimates with him in my arms this weekend. It was pretty nice.
Ant, how are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Not as good as Tommy, but I'm good.
I know, right?
I can barely keep my eyes open.
That's wonderful. That's a good problem to have. Just drink more coffee. But guys, we have a busy week. It's the Fed week. Doesn't sound like they're doing anything. Sounds like the June rate cut is blown out of the water. See you later. We'll see you maybe later in the year. I don't even think at this point we're going to have anything this year. We got jobs report coming out at the end of the week, so we'll see where rates head here. Obviously, they haven't been great the last few weeks, so we need a bit of a turnaround heading into summer. Because one thing with rates going up, inventory is now popping up a little bit. We got a little spike in inventory, not that it's anywhere near that we need it to be, but supply and demand, that's how the game works. So keep your ears out on Friday. We'll have more info on where rates are heading, at least for the short term, but it sounds like the Fed isn't going to make any changes here this week.
No, yeah, that's kind of what I'm hearing as well. I mean, that's the consensus, I would say. But there are, a couple other important meetings this week. So rates can be a little bit volatile, even though they're saying there's not going to be a change. Because they also, mainly, I feel like the rates, they fluctuate off of what he says after the meeting, too.
Oh, yeah. The comments are just as important, for sure.
Yeah. His positivity and outlook and those different types of things. So it's definitely going to be an interesting week. So stay tuned for that.
And I think, obviously, the biggest change in our world, and I don't think it's going to wait till July, is the change with real estate commission, how that's paid, who pays it. We're already starting to see it in the local Pittsburgh market of sellers offering less or zero or make it negotiable. So we have to start all getting in line now, getting the correct information out to buyers, letting them understand just inherently in the mortgage process what they can do to keep their costs down. Because the way I look at this, whether it was in the sales price, whether it was negotiating, whatever it was, up to this point, a buyer never paid or rarely paid any commission for real estate, and it was paid for by the seller somehow, usually in the price of the house. Now the rules are changing. The government is coming in and saying, hey, Mr. Buyer, you have to pay a commission. And I don't think buyers are just going to say, okay, I have X amount of dollars now left in my bank. I'm just going to there isn't enough dollars out there in some cases to pay commission, but there is something called seller assistance. Every mortgage is allowed seller assistance. The most common right now, conventional loan, 3% seller assistance. You can ask the seller to pay 3% of the purchase price for seller assistance. That's how I would get your commission paid for, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. Put your offer in with seller assistance. My eyes, it's coming. It's going to be more customary. Hasn't been around since COVID all that much. Seller assistance was very common before COVID in our market. And I think this is a way, if the seller's not going to pay, put it in the offer with seller assistance. That way you're keeping as much money in your pocket as possible.
No, I do. I think it's going to be much more common over the next few months and over the next few years after that. When I first started, like 7, 8 years ago, every deal that I did in the beginning had seller assistance on it. And every offer that was put in was almost asked for max seller assistance. And we went backwards from that. And I do kind of see it going towards that over the next year.
Well, Tom, I know Anthony has been preaching how important the real estate agent, buyer, loan officer relationship is going to be. It already is super important, but now when you need to get into the weeds and every offer can be different, and it could be hell, it could be $9,000, $10,000 difference in closing costs, depending on how you're putting in your offer or what the seller's agreeing to. So I know Mr. Senior Loan Officer has been on the front line pushing it, Anth. It's going to be very important.
Yeah, I mean, I think, ultimately, having this solid team in place is always important, but I think structuring the deals is going to be more prevalent, working together to make sure the numbers work for all parties. Because I wouldn't be surprised if the seller's looking at their bottom line now, right? So when this comes about, the unfortunate part is the buyer's agent's technically not going to actually know what the commission is going to be paid, if any, until the offer's put in, essentially. So, if you got offers coming in, and let's say, one agent throws one in with 3%, commission, and then another one throws one in with 1.5% commission, but they already negotiated with the client to pay the other 1.5%, who's going to win that bid? The one that's only going to have to pay 1.5%,
Right.
So I think structuring that deal, working with the agent, working with the buyer, and everybody working as a team to structure that properly before the offer's put in, I think is going to help tremendously.
I'm just thinking about, even when you get pre-approved, a lot of the times that first step of pre-approval, you don't have a property in mind yet. So you're not even going to know at that time if there's a seller that's taking care of commission, or you're going to have to pay it. So at that time, you're going to have to structure your offer. At least how you're going to have to offer when you find the house you like. And it may just be, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Agent, I need to put an offer in with 3% seller assistance. Like you got to get paid. Everyone's got to get paid in this world. Everyone deserves to get paid for the job they're completing. And if the government is coming in and saying, time out, we're changing the rules, this is Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, you have to pay your agent now. We are here to help, because financing already have these rules built in that you can just say, okay, seller, pay 3% seller assistance then. And because, you know how I look at it. I'm not here for the sellers. I'm here for the buyers. And you think sellers are going to lower purchase prices now, 3%? I don't think so. They're greedy people. They want every dollar they can get.
No, yeah, I think they're going to leave the prices where they're at. I think that the seller assist will just come more prevalent in the marketplace, how it was in the past.
And there's nothing nefarious or anything with seller assistance. It's completely allowed. There's different types, different amounts for every loan type. And if 3% doesn't cut it, we can take you to an FHA loan and get 6% seller assistance.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there is
might need to happen from time to time too, because the house might need to have some repairs done as well. That the sellers.
Well, don't worry, Tommy. We're going to get in deep in the next couple of weeks into this wildly wrong misconception about FHA loans, because I'm with you. If there's going to be a lot of buyers in the world coming up that it just are going to need to go FHA because of dollars and cents. And if you're afraid of an FHA loan and you're a listing agent, wake up. It isn't 2020. It isn't 2021. And if you're not taking an FHA loan, hell, I think that's a fair housing problem, but that's a whole nother discussion. You need to know why. And if you're just carte blanche saying no to FHA, shame, shame, shame.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I pulled out the shame, Tommy.
Ooh.
I pulled it out. Yeah. So other than that, that's all I got today. we'll continue on. We'll give the updates of the rates on Friday with the Fed movement, but we'll see you in May.
Yeah. Enjoy that last day of the month, boys.
Oh yeah. See you guys later.
Bye.